Episode 24, if I can count, of the Mainly Golf Show. I'm Twig, according to that screen, joined by the Sticky Bandits, Hep and Marv, in the
Hello.
aftermath of the B&W Championships. We saw a bit of an upset last week. Keegan Brandley, big prize pre-event, held off the late charge of Adam Scott. I think it might be Marv who said early in the season, Adam Scott will never win a tournament again in his life. So
Still
he also said
correct.
Scotty Scheffler wouldn't win the players. We're,
Had a
we're not
few
doing well.
close shaves with Adam Scott, I think.
I also said Rory McIlroy would never ever win a major.
Still
Yeah,
correct.
some very, very, very some stained trousers nearly at the US Open, but we digress. It's the Tour Championship this week at East Lake, the grand finale. He's been a bit of a damp squid the last few years. I know JT won it kind of despite not winning it. Patrick Cantlay's won it. Nobody really likes Patrick Cantlay. Marv, would I right be thinking, apart from Tiger winning, I can't think of any like big, big momentous season finale, closing extravaganza. It's just been damn squib.
Yeah, and my thoughts are that since the new format in 2019, where everybody gets sort of a reset and obviously they're start on a particular score, I think it takes away. I don't think golf fans are idiots. I think they can perfectly work out there's two tournaments on the go. There's a tournament plus there's the FedEx in the background. They're a bit more intrigued to it. Yeah, for me, the old format was far better, and as you say, it doesn't have that ending, that suspense that potentially it could have.
Yeah, I mean beforehand, right? Even like during the FedEx Cups, it's quite. I like the idea of this guy's made birdie now. He's up to
Mm,
tied 48th. He's in the
yeah,
bubble. Or this guy's just made a double bogey. Right, he's out to 54. He's not missing it. He's missing next week. Like I said, golf. If you are a golf fan, generally, I think the socio demographic show you're probably a bit more middle than working class. You've got a little bit of a brain. Sorry to. I mean, working class people don't listen to this, do they? Have how would you
Not
know?
in my,
You're
not, not,
you're an
not, not
insurance
it,
in
guy
it
from a banker. Yeah.
end of the day,
Um,
it's nothing different than football games going at once, and there's the games going on, but there's a table behind it that can change.
mm,
yeah.
It's
Commentators just aren't equipped to. I mean, they don't even mention the cut normally on like a normal broadcast, trying to keep online with two tournaments at once. But yeah, we're smart enough to do it. Just go back to it because we were saying, how do you fairly do it? Because obviously you don't want Scotty with like a 20 shot
mm.
lead, which would probably be well, not fair. That's an exaggeration, but him and Xander would be miles clear.
Uncompetitive
But
is
then,
probably the word you're looking
yeah,
for.
but then you don't want to. It's not fair that Scotty only has a 2 shot lead and a double bogey on the first, and it's back to square game after how dominant he's been all season. But I mean, maybe for every 100 points you had on the FedEx Cup, you get so many points, but shots ahead. But
I always go
yeah,
back to it's the same comparison with like Super League, very niche crossover for any listeners we have it in America. Yeah, I remember Huddersfield Giants won the League Leaders Shield in 2013, maybe 2014, and they won the regular season. So what they played 20 games, Fartown won 16 and 20. Then they go into the playoffs, lose to St. Helens, and they're out. Like, all right, great.
yeah.
It's
No one
like
cares
it
about the
does
league really. It's all about the
it,
playoffs.
yeah, it doesn't seem very fairly skewed, but I don't know what they do with this because they've tried to make it so again, if it goes on prize money, right? Scott is basically home and host before the last. If they do choose to go back to the previous
Yeah,
um format, they're trying to do it for TV ratings, right? They want people to get excited. I suppose this way they want somebody to come with a rally from behind. But the problem where this goes wrong is that any sport is based on the two T's, which is talent and television. And at the minute, the talent that is currently on the PGA Tour, they aren't over enough as superstars where they transcend the sport. If this was Tiger, or if this was going back, there was a hope that Spieth would be the guy, right? I think he won this in 2015. I think he beat Stenson. Rory's won this twice. Rory was just good TV numbers in America. He's five back. Scheffler is on the cusp, but the problem is, I think he's too boring to make that crossover, and that's where building the sport around Scheffler will only get golf so far unless we get a big star coming through where even if he's he goes in with a two-shot lead, and he's 5 clear at halfway, you're still going to watch him. I suppose
Yeah.
you're constantly chasing the Tiger effect, right?
And maybe just spoil us all, and maybe there'll never be another one of those, and it's just golf and it's an old man sport. But yeah, like like you said, if there was 2 players tied for the lead going into the last day, like even if it's Scotty versus Rory, no casuals are just tuning in for that just on a Sunday. It's just is what it is. But also go back to the format as well, like looking at the last 5 years where they've had this staged thing. We've had DJ and Cantley win it from first position, so they started on the -10 and just led it. Vic won it last year from -8, so second place. And then Rory, as you said, has won it twice, coming back from -4 and -5. So, there's 10 golfers on -4 or lower to start with. So he's literally down to 10, given the historic results. And then very likely it's going to be Scotty or Xander, because I don't really think Decky in third is much of a threat. Bradley somehow jumping up to 4th after just winning last week and just scraping it to start with. Like, he doesn't deserve to be 4th after one win. Ludwig, I don't think, is going to climb 5 shots on Scotty. It could be boring however they do it, but
Would
I don't
you?
care.
I mean, entering this week, they said it's not fair. Scotty is the even money favorite most bookmakers. If you had, mythical £100 Scheffler to win or the field, who would you be taking?
I personally go against.
I'm the same, and I think it's stupid, right?
Just purely because of his performance last week. I think
it goes Xander. I think Xander's in the second half of the year is in better form. I know that wasn't really the question, but
so you take the field head.
He's part of the field, obviously, but
he just wants Xander.
Yeah.
Marv, you have what's Scotty finish? What's his finishing positions at Eastlake before?
Yeah, so in 2023, tied 6th. 2022, tied 2nd. 2021, tied 22nd. 2020, 5th. And so he's actually got decent course form around Eastlake. Just to touch on the format as well, that some of these, the final leaderboard since the change of format, some of them are so uncompetitive. Last year, Hovland won on 27 under.
Bolton, didn't he?
Third place was only 16 under. The product surely at some point with that becomes, without the competition on the Sunday, the casual viewer isn't going to, oh, well, it's over, as you say, without that Tiger Woods type of effect. Nobody's tuning in who are just casuals who don't really. So, you see, looking back, even McIlroy when he was kind of to a point a bit of a non-event on a Sunday.
What happened? I remember Cantley and Ram in 2021. I remember backing Ram and backing him, and I couldn't believe Cantley hold. He's just the most streakiest player in the world. He made like 4 or 5 putts for par between like 7 and 10 feet. I couldn't believe how good he ran. When Rory won in 2022, I don't remember anything about the tournament. I know he beat Sungjae and Scotty by a shot. I just remember Rory doing that, like walking off the green. But and then DJ, don't remember that. I suppose it's COVID. Don't remember Rory winning 2019 before. Vaguely remember Victor I think Victor didn't he have like a massive rounds 2 and 3? He went like either 4 clear and then 7 clear, and then it was game over.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, I remember Tiger grinding away, but when Tiger won, it was 11 under. Then you look afterwards, winning scores afterwards 18, 21, 21, 21, 27. I don't like these types of calls. I thought last week the BMW was a really, really tough test. Winning score was what, 13 under from Bradley. There was water in play a dozen holes. The rough was up, bunkers were hazards. It was a good golf tournament. Eastlake's just, would you say, too soft? And I don't know how you change that.
Well, and maybe could do with a change of, I think he's been there forever, pretty much. But I think probably one of the arguments from the players' point of view, at least, is that in the Tour Championship, they want to know where they stand. If there's got 2 tournaments going on at once, they don't. Well, look, simple way to solve that is stick 5 leaderboards on every hole, make it as interactive as possible. I'm sorry, players, but don't give me the bullshit. You don't look at leaderboards. You look at leaderboards. You know what I mean? You're not gonna, oh, I'm leading the Masters by 1 shot on Sunday. I won't look at leaderboards, and you finish the hole, and you've lost by 1. You thought, but I played all them par fives as 3 shotters. Yeah, exactly. Shut up. So it's like you look at leaderboards, so make it as interactive as possible, so you literally know real time, shot by shot, where you stand. Maybe simplify it in terms of points. You know what I mean? So it's not like, oh well, if I make, I win by, make the rules a little bit more simple. So whatever. But yeah, just the public, the product is the key.
Do you
And
think, Marv, as well, if you can watch a football game on Bet365 or any other bookmaker, and you could see following a game, the stats there, percent of pass completion, goals, assists, heat map, where they currently are in the box. And yet with golf, you just get 2 guys going around with a sign saying Henley, 14 under, Fleetwood minus
yeah.
13.
When
You,
I
when why do you not have a big screen
no,
every hole with like shot tracker?
when I used to go to the Open many years ago, the first few years I went, it was just like that's it. You had to, this was pre-like smartphones, to be honest. 2005 onwards, you had to, there was like one leaderboard on every hole, and it was the old-fashioned thing. Then I got to the point of like, well, actually, if I buy a radio, I can listen to the commentary, I can get updates on scores because you want to know what's happening. You want to know that where things are, as you say. So in the modern day, especially in the bigger
It's
events,
insane.
why don't they go to that extreme, as you say, other sports? So
You two will be watching like the NFL, right, pretty much religiously when he comes back next week. Just look at the red zone, for example, right?
exactly.
Right there and there, right? Let's go to that game, right? And then blah blah blah, flip over. You think that's kind of how the golf coverage
I,
should
I,
be, right? This guy's
I,
got
I know it probably helps, people sat at home watching it. They've got the access to the internet, all that type of stuff. But as you say, I think, on course, and for the players as well. And really, they fully integrate them into it. And I think that would improve the product, if I'm honest. And I think golf needs to kind of push those boundaries of trying things to um to do something a little bit different, not over the top different, but a little bit different.
so this is the season finale. Rory McIlroy goes a 3-time winner. Good record around East Lake. Hep, if Rory wins this week, is it a successful season for the Northern Irishman?
Oh, just trying to think what he did.
He won
Oh, yeah.
the Wells Fargo, he won the
Who
Zurich.
wins?
Don't forget that Zurich Classic of New Orleans.
I mean, he's
He
successful for
finished
his bank account, but I mean, he's
he
not
finished
winning.
tied 22nd at the Masters. He was tied 12th at the PGA. He was second in the US Open, and he missed the cut at the Open Championship at Trun.
It's been a fantastic year for the bank account hit because the divorce was called off.
Better than 20 million that easy.
Yeah, if he wins this, he's a solid B. But obviously, he wants that major, which is why he's not an
And then I mean, you'd argue, right, if Rory does win this week, it's just like the pressure increases already for the Masters, and this is kind of the reason. It's weirdly how the season's planned out because you get this, right, players, the Masters, and by the Open in July, like, well, this is a bit shit now. And luckily, right, the DP World Tour benefits from this because they have their UK swing, right? It's the British Masters this week. I think there's the Irish Open. They go to Wentworth. It's the Open, Spanish Open end of September. So there's like 4 or 5 good tournaments in a row. But it's kind of that's it now for the PGA. And I know they've got the President's Cup to play. But it's a bit strange to see how the season's wrapped up. It's just, yeah, just a bit anticlimactic.
Yeah, it is weird where the Masters sits in the schedule as the main major, and it's the first, and then it's over by April, and then you've got the rest, but they're obviously not as significant. And then no fans care about the FedEx Cup at all.
No, but I think the PGA have like signed a long-term sponsorship deal with FedEx, and the sponsor sends you, so they have to try to like you see them going on, don't you? Going, this is the Aeon 500 risk reward. Well, no one gives a fuck about the fucking par four drive of 12. And I like Andrew Coulthard, right? And he's only following orders, but like he was actually in I was in his DMs on he likes the no context Keen page. I said, Colt, what's going on with don't talk to me about Hideki. Pulled out at the same stage last year. Don't know what's wrong with the boy. So yeah, they're all just following orders, but I think the PGA are now quite scared of losing more sponsors after being hit by two or three this year. And realistically, it's probably gonna get worse.
Yeah, and they've got to try and do something to make it a season and a league, and consistent performances rewarded. It can't just be that every tournament is an exhibition apart from the majors. So they've got to try and do something, but it just doesn't capture the imagination, does it? Just
do you think there's a chance that if they do, the way I think they will go, and they probably shouldn't, it's probably for good reason, they will do this up until the FedEx play end of August, play the Ryder Cup, say what, third, fourth week in September normally. That's when, if you do make this deal with Liv, the October, November, a bit that you have those weeks blocked out, don't you, in for the IPL? Was it might think it's March, April, and England will try to sort their schedule so the players can go and earn a few quid, go and have your fun. If the PGA Tour do a deal with Liv, October, November, right? You've got 6 weeks, 6 tournaments in 8 weeks, 9 weeks, whatever it is. We can do a pairs, team, whatever. Go and have your fun. Pay you some money, and your players can come back on tour. Everyone's a winner. And realistically, right? If they miss out on I don't know, the Sanderson Farms or the fucking Safeway Open or whatever else is played around that time, no one really cares. I can't tell you any big tournaments around that time. Even like man, what does Tiger host? Is that in December or is that January? Somewhere like in Barbados, right? Century?
It's changed its name into it used to be the Hero Challenge.
The Hero World Challenge, yeah.
Is it still called that? I can't remember.
I don't know. But nobody cares.
Is that one of them? A different one.
Is it in November time? And there's
it's like the last PGA
Tour.
Yeah,
it's in the Bahamas now, isn't it? I think is there the PNG or something for.
And they have the tournament
the family tournament, or whatever it is.
Yeah, and I think they go to like South Korea now, don't they? Is it the CJ Cup or they've moved it? But there's one out there, and you think nobody really cares about that. After the FedEx Cup, okay, end of August, you can do whatever you like. Nobody's watching, so go and try other things. But
I think Marv alluded to it last week as well. Like if you had the PGA season was a qualification where the top 64 then get to go and play this live event.
Yeah.
And then if it was like a month-long, really intense thing, it might be actually quite interesting, the team stuff. But just dragging it out over the year just doesn't mean anything. But if you did have like a World Cup short tournament,
I think it incentivizes quality of play and performance, because you say you're qualifying for it based on your performance through the season, as opposed to just getting these contracts and going, just rock it when you want. Who cares how well you play? They use your money.
Well, never mind. On the flip side, that we've got tips to put up for today. Would you be having a bet in the FedEx Tour Championship?
Tempted to lay Scotty, it's tempting.
Just bring Xander and just listen to Hep.
I don't know if it's just worth, just lay the evens, or as opposed to back the 5-2, 9-4.
Yeah, I think my 10 points is just going to go on Rory to win without Scheffler and Schauffele market.
That's a sheep.
I think we do have to. Yeah, just one selection is sufficient. I guess this week.
Yeah,
well, I'm not. Well, I wouldn't put.
Rory
I mean, I would be good putting my tips up for. I like the DP World Tour. So,
are you not picking any on the Tour Championship trigger?
No, I don't have a. I don't have a good feel about it.
I'm gonna throw out.
I feel like Cookie playing golf.
I'm gonna throw at least one on the.
No field Twig.
And just following the statistical approach that the winner of the BMW for a few years, has gone on to win the FedEx overall. And I know Keegan Bradley sneaked in 50th place with 2 tournaments to go, and he's
I'm a
jumped all the way
bubble.
up to fourth, and he is a top price of 40-1, top three. From purely from a form point of view, and if he can carry it over, and it's probably a very emotional win last week for him, so he might not care. But at 40-1, top price, to me, there's potentially some value there.
Do you think he was deserving winner last week? You didn't watch anything, did you?
I was just about to say, based on the amount of golf I watched last week,
more than normal.
What were you doing this weekend, Marv?
It's none of your business, to be honest. Um,
Fucking hell, you Batman here.
Anyway,
I just think
It's his shit.
whether I don't know whether from what I saw on Sunday, he did look shaky. Now, whether that was because they said he'd not won for a while and the magnitude of what winning that tournament meant, he wasn't just winning a regular tournament. He wasn't just winning a signature event. He was winning, the BMW in the FedEx Cup.
He can pick himself now as Ryder Cup captain.
That's what I mean.
Justified.
I think that the magnitude. So you look at it and you think he's going to absolutely blow out next week and be awful, or he's going to ride that wave potentially.
The latter.
Um,
The
so
former, sorry.
well,
Former.
actually, anything could happen, but there's an argument for he rides that wave. But no, I suppose that in terms of last week, but no big name really challenged at the top, did they? So you never really know. If anybody had been put under pressure by a big name, would they have? Would they? Because
And
Bradley
that's
shots.
the big difference.
Yeah.
If you're
That's
watching it, like Adam Scott was 13 under entering Saturday's round. I think he played the first 4 holes in 4 over. His first tee shot went out of bounds during round 3, but he missed so many putts. Like it was unbelievable. He missed about, no exaggeration, 7, 8 putts between say 6 and 10 feet consecutively. And to be fair to him, he hung in there, played really well on the back nine. He's very good tee to green, isn't he? And did he go in either one? I think one behind Bradley into the last round. I think it's really sloppy during round 4. But Bradley had no real pressure on him. Aberg, well, you tuned in, didn't you? And then within about a minute of you watching it, Aberg went splash.
Yeah, was it the par 5 possible?
Xander never really got on the charge. Wyndham Clark he had 5 foot to go to 9 under, which would have been, I think, 2 back, and he missed that and made a double. I wouldn't say he fell in, but
I know what you mean.
He had it go a lot of his own right way. Interestingly, Rory, for his wins in, was it 2019 and 2022, he entered that 5 and 6 shots back. So it's not exactly new territory for him to come from a few shots back to win. Last year, Hovland, I think, started second because he'd won the week before. And Scheffler kicked the hole when he was, Luke Morris was on board, just trying to get a bit more out of him. And didn't find a lot under the bonnet. So yeah, I don't like Scheffler around here. I think he's very short, and I don't think he's asked about the money. To put it very bluntly, I think some of these players on tour. Look at Patrick Cantley. I think he just, in the words of Wayne Riley, he just wants the coin. He's thinking about the Euros already. Scheffler, fuck, made 30 million already this year. If I lose, I finish fourth. I still bank 6 million. Might as well buy myself a new house.
The interesting statistic is that if Sheffield hadn't have turned up to either the FedEx St Jude or the BMW, so literally skipped both weeks, went straight to the Tour Championship, he'd still be in top spot.
And he didn't look happy at the St Jude. I think, did he finish like 4th in the end? Didn't look confident, and I don't think he likes playing a few weeks in a row. Like I think he made the exception was when he went and played that tournament in Texas, didn't he? But he did the interview and said, look, if there are local tournaments, I try to support them. They raise a lot of money for charity. Apart from that, and I think the Scottish Open and the Open Championship, I can't think of him playing 3 weeks in a row.
No, you asked me to look it up last week, but we never got back to it. But yeah, this is his third time playing 3 weeks in a row this year.
When did the two?
I think the ones you named. Was one of the start.
The early one, wasn't it? Yeah.
Was it? I think the Players running into Houston.
Did they play the week before the US Open and the week after?
I think he missed the US Open because he missed the week because all the talk around the Masters, right, was when's Meredith due, and then he took time off after the Masters.
I'm thinking,
Was it the US Open where he nearly got the felony, or was that the PGA?
It was the US Open. He was arrested.
Right. Yeah. That kind of halted the super run of form.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, because it was Kentucky, wasn't it? It was the one that Bryson and Xander. Yeah, because the US Open was at the Pinehurst when he just didn't have it.
Yeah.
Would you say he has been? He won Olympic gold, right? And he's won subsequently. I'd love to see the stats behind it. Do you think his form has died down a bit comparatively to the first 6 months he was so hot? With the first 2-3 months, right? February, March time through to May.
It kind of couldn't have been any better, I suppose. Could it? He was that far ahead of everybody else. We're looking at it now and thinking he's fallen off a cliff to a point, but he hasn't. But the problem is we're comparing him against himself, not comparing him against. I'd say second half of the year is probably still, apart from Xander, maybe the second best.
Just looking like he went that run between. He won the Arnold Palmer first one. This is 1 by 5. He then went with he won with the Players. A couple of weeks off. 2 weeks off. Then he lost that tournament in Houston, which was his prep. The one in Texas, and everyone was saying it's perfect because if he'd have won this, they were saying that he's won 3 in a row now. He's got to win the Masters. So much pressure. Wins the Masters, goes and plays the Heritage the week after, wins that. And then you look at June, he wins the Memorial, gets arrested at Valhalla, and then wins the week after, beating Tom Kim at the Travelers. Unreal.
Yep.
But since then, right, apart from the Olympics, he hasn't won anything. And that's 2 months.
Oh yeah, a T7 at the Open, a 4th at the FedEx, and an absolute shit show last week.
Fucking scrub. Fucking hell.
Well, I don't know. I think he was so hot. It's so hard to continue that level of form. Again, Tiger did it for 15 years. It's been different. Over the short term, just insane.
Yeah, I wish I had his stats sort of time series rather than just.
We'll do some prep for next week, Apple. I mean, you've had a bank holiday week. What should we be doing? Should we get you do more DIY?
I'll just be sleeping.
How many trips to IKEA this week?
None, but we had stuff in already to do. So yeah, busy boy.
Get renovating. Marv, you never give your tip in the end. Just Bradley.
At the moment, I'm letting somebody else give their second or first. Yeah, Bradley at the moment is definitely my first selection.
You guys have a crypto tip of the week?
It's the 26th of August and time is running out to buy. That is.
We need to get an emoji during the quicksand thing. All I'm saying is
a rising tide raises all boats.
Raises all ships. But yeah, same difference. I won't have a look. I do think Schauffele will get beat this week. I don't know who by. I think probably Xander's probably the safest bet. Back him each way. It's a scumbag bet. Instead, go to the British Masters where Thorbjorn Olesen, a winner from 2 years ago, and it was incredible for how he won this because he made a complete bollocks of it. He had a 2-shot lead. Sebastian Soderberg, who is a perennial bottler, messed up. Olesen ended up making birdies at 17 and 18 to win by 1. Richard Bland won this in three years ago. Blandy. He's since gone to live and won two majors. But Ollis has got a great record around it. He's 25-1 around 5 places. He would be the bet of the week. Ignore last week, but pretend it never happened. I made a clip of us saying Robinson Thompson. What a guy he is. He's leading the DP World Tour halfway. And then he collapsed. So he's not dead. He just played really shit. Is everyone wondering? Paramedics on standby. And another guy who's got great form in these types of conditions, Matteo Manacero, who won at Wentworth around 6-7 years ago. He lost his card about 4 or 5 years ago. Got it back last year, won on the Challenge Tour. He then went and won on tour itself. And he's back. He's currently 40-1. So my two this week would be no one else remotely cares about the DP World Tour, but never mind. 3 points each way on Thorbjorn at 25s and 2 points each way on Matteo Manacero at 45s with Patrick Power.
Yeah. No, I've got me. Yeah, I'll just confirm mine. I said Keegan Bradley, top price 40s. And Sam Burns actually has had 2 very good results in the first 2 weeks of the playoffs.
Yes. 63 last week on Sunday.
He's not a million miles off it again. He's 40-1. So if he keeps that form, if he can sneak a place, seems like a reasonable price. So yeah, Keegan Bradley and Sam Burns both 40s. So just a straight 2.5 each way.
You don't think either of them are going to win the FedEx Cup?
Probably no.
I suppose when you put back Schauffele at even a 9-4, get a place at even like 6 or 7s, right? Is that Muse for us, not you two?
All right.
My internet connection is unstable. In a word, who wins the FedEx Cup?
Xander.
Marv, in a word, who wins the FedEx Cup? Audio podcast, Marv. We might be losing listeners here.
Sorry, I don't know if a bit of it went off then.
More than one word.
I saw your mouth moving, but no volume was coming through.
Rarity. Madam wishes.
I didn't know. Maybe an issue at my end. Sorry, did you say who do I think?
In a word, who wins the FedEx Cup?
Xander.
Xander for me as well. Xander's the hat trick. 5-2. There you go. A lump on now. Xander for us, and also back a couple of Italians over at the Belfry. We'll be next week for 25 and the season review. Until then, in the words of Charles, William, Anthony McCann, be lucky.